I'm Mary Vande, and I too want to welcome you to the Not Alone series. This is a great series on learning more about being a disciple ourselves and passing that on and teaching other women about discipleship. One of the important parts of being a disciple, as you will learn even right away in Lesson 1, is about being able to share our story. And so I want to just take a moment to help you as a leader to maybe have a couple of suggestions on how to create an environment at your table that helps the women to feel safe, to not feel vulnerable, but to be willing to share their story, perhaps for the first time. The very first way is the first week I tend to spend quite a bit of time just getting to know the women at the table. A simple question to ask is to suggest, let's just go around the table and share what we did today. This is a very safe question, so all the women will feel comfortable, and it's amazing how much information you'll gain just from their answers. I typically jot down notes. I might write down they work at IBM or they're a student at Duke, stay-at-home mom, those kind of things. This not only helps me know how to pray for them, I also begin to learn who they are, and it also helps me to create conversation in the following weeks to follow up on things if they've shared about their husband, interviewing for a job or themselves, something to that effect. The other thing that is great about this type of question is it actually helps build community at the summit. When women at the table learn that someone else at their table has children at home or are students at the same university, they tend to seek each other out afterward and develop a friendship, maybe a play date for the children, and so that's another plus from doing this. The second thing I would encourage you to consider is touching base with your group during the week. Some people take the time to call. That's a huge commitment. What I've found worked quite well is I set up a group email. And so typically the day after group, so that'd be Wednesday morning, I would just send a real quick group email, say, hey ladies, it was great to see you last night. Hope you have a great week. Here are the prayer requests. Susan, we missed not seeing you. I hope you're feeling better, that kind of thing. And then encouraging them to update us on prayer requests, or feel free to add one during the week to the group email. The second time I really try to email them is either Sunday or Monday, just saying, hey, I hope you had a great weekend, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night, and maybe even sharing a small snippet from what Cass is going to share, just to encourage them to continue to finish strong in this series. The final way that we can help them learn to be open about sharing their stories is by modeling it. For some of us, that's going to be really easy. If anything, we probably need a caution about not speaking too much of the time and about how to engage other women at the table in sharing their stories of how God came through for them. But for some of us, this might be hard as well. Maybe you haven't done this before. So I would encourage you to begin praying and reflecting on when you failed and God did not, when God showed up during a very hard time, and just praying that God will use you to create an environment that helps the women to feel safe and loved. Christ had an amazing way, when he always had crowds following him, of reaching out to the individual. And I think when we do that, even in small ways, the women see that they are loved, they're amongst friends, and they'll feel safe to open up. One final thought. We're called disciples of Christ, and we're called to witness. A witness in a jury doesn't just share facts. They're asked to share what they know about the plaintiff or the defendant, or what they've experienced, what they saw. And that's the best witness we can be. And we're trying to help these women understand that being a disciple of Christ means to be transparent, to share what Christ means to us, what he's done for us, because that just is the best way to share Christ. Not just the facts of the gospel and grace, which is amazing, but how that gospel and that grace has impacted our lives. So enjoy the series. I'll see you Tuesday night.